Wade is guarding Bryant. Artest looking, gets it to Bryant. Bryant dribbling, has to put it up with the buzzer. Banks it in! He banks in the three! And the Lakers win the game!
Happy winning on Wednesday. I think that isn't that what they say? Like if it's like typos or if the audio's off, we probably have like more live views now. Look at all the comments. I like it. Hit the switch to the right. Good morning, everybody. Lane's like, I can hear you next door, but can't hear you on the actual show. Tony's intro was fire because Lane could actually hear it. Oh, good morning, everybody. Happy winning on Wednesday. As I was so adamantly saying while muted, it is 42 days away from the new year. Right? We have literally 42 days until 2025. The new year is already knocking at your door, y'all. And again, I hope everybody has had an amazing 2024. I know it's been an amazing one for us. And it's just flown by too. But at the same time, just the strides that we have made this year. And again, shout out to anybody that's going through AEP, or I know OEP started this month as well. Hope you guys are having an amazing tail into the season to wrap up your year with a bang. I know it's a crazy time of the season for y'all. So now that we're unmuted, guys, we are really excited for the show today. You guys can see in the description because really it's kind of the Monday morning meeting that we're going to kind of highlight some of this. And we are talking about goals today. They're so important, especially towards the tail end of the year, so that we can actually wrap up the year and actually hit some of these goals that we've been trying to chase all year long. Right. And also, again, really starting to look forward into the new year. If you're not already planning for 2025, then kind of you're missing the opportunity. You're not seizing that opportunity. But real quick, again, because now that we're unmuted, shout out. I don't know if that's ever happened to us in show history either. It's kind of funny. Shout out to Viva Virtual Solutions, Rob Lopez and Lily Davies, everything that y'all are doing. Thank you for being the main sponsor of the show. Seriously, we could not do it without you, Lily. I see you in the comments, and we really appreciate everything that y'all do. Viva Virtual Solutions is where it's at. If you're needing anything on the virtual assistant side, again, reach out to Rob Lopez.
We should
or
probably
to Lily
get
Davies.
them to run the volume knob next time.
Is that Lily? Do you want to? I think she has to be in studio for that. But well, you guys know what time it is too. Again, now it's going to be our saying. Now that we're unmuted, you guys know what time it is. It's winning on Wednesday, right? Go ahead and start dropping them in the comments because it's time for your weekly wins. Drop them in the comments. We want to celebrate you guys. I don't care how big or how small. Drop those weekly wins in the comments. We want to celebrate. Mr. Merwin, what you got? What's a weekly win?
Man, I'm leading off big. This was actually a post I put in the syndicate group, a weekish ago, something like that. Obviously, it's AEP time here in the Medicare space, so we've been super busy. We're running about 300% growth over last year, which is outstanding. But I have also been knee-deep in projects, doing things to amplify or elevate the foundation of our business so that we can grow faster next year, because I believe that we are in for a doozy next year for sure. So I've been knee-deep in cybersecurity projects, website updates, CRM processes, standard operating procedures, like getting all of this stuff ready to go. I picked the worst time of year to do it. Like, let's jump into all this extra stuff during AEP, but nonetheless, I did it. Got it all done. Super excited. Like, our website is about to start popping off. Inbound traffic is about to go berserk over here. I'm just super excited about it, man. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of headaches. It was a lot of pain in my ass, but it felt really good at the end of the day when all of a sudden it was all over. I'm like, oh, I'm done. All of those projects have now been checked off. We're ready to go. Weights off the shoulders. Mind is full of RAM. Let's go.
Right. And that was a goal, right? It was a goal.
100% a goal.
Let me get this done before
I had that shit tasked on my SMART goals every week on the little projects. Like, where am I? Where am I on this project? Like, how am I trying to move this puck a little further, get it done until finally, boom, check it off. It's complete.
Love it, dude. Good for you. I know that, and that's a lot. My brain can't necessarily comprehend like that. That's why we have people on the Clearview side that do that, because I don't work that way. My weekly win, I got 2 of them. I have to give a shout out to my beautiful wife. It is my 4th anniversary today. It's crazy we were talking yesterday, and I put it in my post on my personal profile where it's like, man, I can't believe we've already been married freaking 4 years. She's like, I can't believe that I've known you since literally you met me as soon as I turned 20. And it's like, damn, we've known each other for like over 10 years. So shout out, happy anniversary to my lovely wife. It is our 4-year anniversary. We're going to have some fun tonight. Got some people taking care of the kids. So we're going to get out of the house and have a good time. So happy anniversary. And then I'd probably say, I guess my T-ball party. We had our end of the season T-ball pool party at a gentleman's house that was one of the parent coaches and everything, and all the kids got there. And if anybody followed any of my story or anything about T-ball, it can be stressful, man, coaching a bunch of freaking 5-year-olds.
But cats.
It was a really good like kind of way to wrap up the season. I got us custom jerseys. Shout out to JR Wood and VS Apparel. He got us some bad attitudes, custom jerseys, and got to give those out to the kids. You should have seen their faces. The one kid, he goes, Coach Joe. He's like, I love you. And I was like, I really like you a lot too, because his dad's a cop, and you don't want to just be telling a 5-year-old you love him because he's on your T-ball team. So those are the weekly wins for us, guys. Again, go ahead and drop those in the comments. We want to be able to celebrate you. I don't care how big or how small. Thank you, Franco, for the happy anniversary. I appreciate you. Real quick, y'all. So you see in the description of the show, if you're live right now, I mean, honestly, Franco, I just said your name, and we would love for anybody to be able to join the show. Literally, if you could, go ahead and drop that link in the comments. And again, we'll bring you on in a little bit. We're going to kind of kick off the show and just talk about some of our Monday morning meeting and kind of what prompted us to kind of come back to these short-term destinations. And ultimately, guys, we're going to do live goal setting and planning on the show. We would love for anybody that maybe hasn't taken the time to do this yet, or maybe would like a second set of eyes on what they're doing and how they're setting their goals, again, to wrap up the new year, but ultimately kickstart 2025. We would love to have you on the show. So Lily, if you could, she went ahead and dropped that in the comments. Weekly win is our announcement coming soon. Victor's got an announcement. That is true. We do have an announcement. But Lily, Victor, if you want to hop on, dude, it'd be cool to have you on here, man. Again, y'all, Lily dropped that. I'm going to go ahead and pin that in the group. She did drop the link to join the live show. So just hit that show. I'll see you guys pop backstage, and then we'll bring you on for live goal setting here on the show. I would love to have you guys. It would be way more interactive. So Monday morning meeting. Tony has definitely talked about it a lot with you guys and just kind of what we do and the culture that we're trying to manifest here in the office. We do 8 a.m. Monday morning meetings, and we do 8 a.m. Friday meetings. And really, again, it's just to help manifest that culture of collaboration and accountability. And it ultimately is to help set goals, right? And keep each other kind of on pace for what we're really trying to do. I see you, Victor. Awesome, dude. Thank you for hopping on, man. I'll bring you on here shortly. But the Monday morning meeting, I found this motivational video, and it was talking about today is your day. Right. And I think there's so many times, y'all, that we don't want to wake up. I was talking to Cody Askins. Shout out to Cody Askins, was coaching on his Ultimate Agent Academy call. And it's like, y'all, there are some days like, man, dude, I think I had like 10 hours of sleep in freaking like 2-3 days. Like I was tired, man. But it's like, today is my day. And maybe that's the day, right? And Grace, this was powerful for Grace in the meeting, is like, dude, tomorrow is a gift. Right. And today we are blessed to even be able to wake up and open our eyes, man. And so it was just really powerful. I wanted to go through some of our notes on that. And Tony, you can kind of piggyback on some of this stuff. But again, today, this is your day. What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with today? Let's not think it's hard not to think about 2025, which we're going to towards the end of the show. Right. But what are you going to do with your day today? What does that look like? What does your schedule look like? Do you have goals in place on a daily basis, right? All the things that you can do to seize the opportunity of today. What does that look like for you? And again, I'll leave that for y'all. You got to be able to seize the opportunity, but in order to seize the opportunity, Tony, right, we have to be aware. Maybe can you talk a little bit just about the opportunity of insurance, Mr. Merwin?
Yeah, it's an enormous opportunity. And I think most people miss the boat on it. when they get introduced to insurance. And a lot of times it certainly depends on how you get introduced to insurance, right? What you're exposed to. And I've talked about this a lot in regards to the difference between how I was introduced to the business of insurance versus how my wife was, right? I was introduced to it where it was presented as a job, right? Here's what you do. Here's your contract. Here's your one product. You go knock on those doors, you sell insurance, you make some money. Good for you. And that was kind of all it was. Whereas on the other side, Grace was introduced to the insurance business as, hey, this is a huge opportunity where you can actually build an income, a lifestyle, a legacy, etc. It is not a job. It is a business opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a big part that some agents, unfortunately, get introduced to the business the wrong way. And again, it also depends on your goals. And I'm not trying to bag on either side of that by any means. But I think in a lot of cases, agents aren't introduced to the business to understand that it is truly a business opportunity that can build passive and renewal income for you. Right. And I can't speak to the numbers in some of the other product lines, but just to give you an idea how big the opportunity in the Medicare space alone is. I mean, right now we've got 66.5 million Medicare beneficiaries. We're going to have 80 million by the time we get to the year 2030. And if all you ever did was sold one product, a Medicare product, Medicare Advantage or Medicare supplement plan, you didn't cross market, you didn't do anything. All you ever did was sold one Medicare policy to every person that you met in the Medicare space. At basic street level commissions, you need 1/1000th of 1% of the total market to make $1 million. Like, that's how big the opportunity is. And it's good that people really understand that side, like that it is a gigantic business opportunity. Go attack it and treat it with the respect that it deserves.
Absolutely. We're talking about this opportunity as well. And we know, I don't even care if you've been in insurance for a week, you've probably already gone through it. Every day is a new day. I swear. It's like I've been in over 10 years and I swear every single day there's something new. I love it. That's part of what I love about the industry, man. It just keeps me on my freaking toes. But there was a note within the video that we watched on Monday that if the day is going to be good, I have to heal from the mistakes of yesterday. And I truly believe that, the mistakes that we make in our agency and in our business and really just in our life, right? We have to be able to heal from those. But I love that he said you have to study the failures to not repeat them again. So, again, you look at yesterday and maybe, it was a rough day, right? Or again, you're going through AEP and OEP and you didn't hit the app count or the enrollments that you were really looking for. Heal from that. But then ultimately, because again, today is your day. Today's a new day. You can come in and seize the opportunity. You can make up and sell more apps than you could in 2 days in 1 day, right? So keep that mindset. But ultimately, you have to be able to go back and, okay, what caused me to not get those enrollments or sell those apps, right? So again, heal from the mistakes of yesterday in order for today to be good, right? The last little bit here I have there, it's abbreviated in our office called STDs. Not everybody in our office has STDs, y'all. They're called short-term destinations. And that's kind of, again, what prompted me to want to do this live with you guys. So short-term destinations, there's something that, again, we do every Monday. We check in on them on Friday to see where we're at on the week. And then ultimately you got the weekend in order to come back in the office on Monday with your short-term destinations and whether you actually hit those, right? So again, think of them just as short-term goals. And, for me, and I'll be 100% vulnerable with this, and I said it in the Monday meeting, was, man, I kept hitting like not even 50% of my freaking short-term destinations. And I'm like, what the hell is going on, right? And it wasn't that I was having a bad week, right? But it was like I'm writing these things down, yet I'm not hitting them. Why? Why am I saying I'm trying to do them, but then I consistently for the 2-3 weeks, I'm not hitting the things that I'm writing down that I'm saying that I want to hit? And so really it was just kind of more eye-opening. It was a refresher for me that the short-term destinations, your short-term targets, which again, we're going to help you kind of set today and do live on the show, they should mandate what you do for the week. Mandate what you do for the week. If I'm writing them down, everything else should just be supplemental to my short-term destinations, to my short-term targets and what I'm trying to achieve for the week. And so it was such a refresher for me to be able to see that. And I'm like, okay, dude, if I'm writing this shit down, I am getting this done. These are what mandate my week and everything else just fills in the cracks, right? So again, that's kind of what prompted us again to kind of bring back the goals. Y'all, it is, like I said, we are 42 days away from the freaking new year. We probably have some things that we need to get done, as Tony was even describing with the cyber and all this stuff that, man, we got to get done by the end of the year. so that we can start 2025 the right way. So we're going to talk about some of the importance of setting goals. We'll cruise through those. Victor, I'm going to go ahead and bring on our man, Victor Gonzalez. You guys have seen him on the show before. I love that he joined this because I know that he loves doing the goal setting and the plans and the process that actually go behind hitting the goals. So we're going to bring him on. We're going to talk about the importance of the goal setting and what it can do in your agency and in your life. And then we're going to actually set the goals and give you some parameters on how to do that. So real quick, without further ado, let's go ahead and welcome Mr. Victor Gonzalez to the stage. What's going on, brother?
What's up, guys?
How
you guys doing?
Doing fantastic. It's good to see you, brother.
Good to see you too, man.
Thanks
and,
for
and Joe, congrats on your anniversary. I'll never forget it now. Today's my niece's birthday, so
okay,
easy to remember.
There you go. All right. Well,
hopefully
if I ever forget, then just text me every time, so then I'll never forget my anniversary with my wife.
I got you. I'll set that early morning text.
Love it, dude. Love it. Well, hey, thanks for hopping on again, guys. Anybody else that wants to hop on, Lily, if you could, well, actually, it's pinned in the comments. If anybody does want to hop on live with us, we'd love to have you. We can chop it up, and again, we're gonna do some goal setting today. Tony, if you want to kick us off, maybe just, again, we're going to cruise through some of just the importance of setting these goals. Victor, I would love for you to share your insights as we kind of cruise through this. Go ahead and kick us off, Mr. Merwin.
Well, number one on the list here is that your goals need to be specific and measurable. SMART goals, right? Specific, measurable. They need to be real, and they need to have a timeline attached to them. Pretty simple, right? That is the key element of effective goal setting, is to make them specific and measurable. For example, instead of saying, I want to increase my sales, set a specific target. I want to increase my sales by 10% in the next quarter, right? So now I know what my goal is. I have a specific target amount, 10% in this case, and I have a specific timeline to get it done. Quarter. Pretty simple. That's how you should be setting your goals. And I don't want to get ahead because some of this is later in this document, but when you're setting those SMART goals, activity-based, if you're brand new, production-based, once you master the activity, revenue-based, once you start getting really good at production. Like, that's kind of how it should work, in my opinion. So if you're a brand new guy, you're like, I want to make 500 dials this week. That would be another example of a SMART goal.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, speaking of dials, sorry, squirrel moment. Shout out to my boy Dylan Neesner. In the last 4 business days, he has dialed 2,000. He was at 2,020 yesterday. He hit another 551 yesterday. He's getting quotes and referrals every single day. He's like 3 months into the industry. I think he's like at almost 2,600 freaking dials in the last 4 business days. So you want to talk about activity, man? That's freaking awesome. Shout out to Dylan. I got to give you a shout out. Kind of piggybacking on what Tony's saying is when you go to set those attainable and actually set the timeline and a specific number, you got to make sure that they're attainable as well, right? I know it's really easy for us to all go out there and say, I want to make $1 million. Like, who doesn't want to make $1 million, right? And if it's attainable and you have the things in place and you know, again, maybe you've mastered the activity, you're an established agency and that's realistic for you and attainable, then by all means, say you want to make $1 million and that's your goal, right? I have no problem with that being a goal. I think that should all be a goal of ours if we're not already doing it. But make sure that they're realistic and achievable. Tony talked on setting a timeline. Okay, so make sure you set the timeline on when you're trying to achieve them, and then write them down. That's going to be kind of the exercise that we do today towards the end of the call, is actually writing. Okay, and I'm going to do it live. Tony's going to do it live. Like, what am I trying to achieve by the end of this year? So write them down. We need to be writing down our goals. Writing down your goals makes them more tangible and helps you clarify exactly what it is that you want to achieve. It also serves as a reminder to keep you accountable. Our short-term destinations, and it's a piece of paper, y'all, every single week. We write down our like where we want to be, and then we sign it. We make a commitment to it, right? And then we know that on the following Monday, we're going to come back through it and review that, but we keep it right on our desk because I want to see where my short-term destinations or what they are and where I need to be. Victor, as far as setting specific and measurable goals, making them realistic and achievable, timelines, writing them down, like, what are your thoughts? Or let's just even in general, man, what are your thoughts when it comes to some of those things?
Yeah. So before I even get into that, I do want to let you guys know I have to hop off in 9 minutes, so
Yeah.
I'll try to be concise with this.
Yeah.
But I agree 100% that is a great way to set goals as an individual producer. When it comes to like managing offices and teams, I actually have a different way about going about it and working with like agencies like on a manager's level of getting their teams to produce. I actually believe that you should be setting your goals way further than what you believe is a realistic goal.
Okay.
Because I've always been of the mindset that, like, if you set goals that are way higher than what you think you should be, if you're just going for like the status quo or what the average is of like your top producer or the median producer, then you're going to hit that number or you're going to come in below it. But if you set a goal that's way higher than what any of those are, and then you put these steps and the actions behind it, I like to work backwards from goals. So I like to, you know me, Joe, like everything's about tracking your metrics, right? So if you know it takes, like, we'll use the activity pyramid, 2 items, 10 quotes, 100 dials, right? You work backwards, 100 dials to get 10 quotes to get 2 items. So if you want to sell X amount of premium or X amount of commission, I mean, you can run those numbers backwards and say, all right, well, I need to write, 6 items a day in order to get to $200,000 a year, right? If I'm writing 6 items a day. Well, okay, if you know it takes $100 to get 2, then you need to do 300 dials a day on average to get 6 items. So you should be shooting for even higher numbers than that, so that even if you miss that high metric, that high goal, you're still going to hit it on the lower end and you're going to surpass where you would have been otherwise. And I feel like that's easier because when you have, especially, and I'm talking on like a manager's level who's coaching a team of producers, when you set those expectations that are way further than what the actual like agency goal is, then it makes it easier for you to hold them accountable to it. And then you start setting those standards and setting that right expectation for a high producing team. And the only way to be a high producing team is to have high activity. I mean, I think we know this, and the activity is only going to, it's going to get more difficult. Your activity is only going to have to get higher as we go on, because less and less people are picking up the phone these days. Right. Like, I mean, this is on every level. Even if you sell B2B, I mean, how many businesses do you call and they don't pick up the fucking phone? Excuse my language. Right?
Yeah.
Like, businesses don't even pick up phones anymore.
Yeah.
So getting people on their personal phones. I mean, if my sister calls me right now, I'm not picking up the phone. I'll text her. What do you need? Like, so the activity has to be up there and you have to set high expectations, but it all starts with tracking your metrics and then working backwards off of that. So
Absolutely.
I like that on an individual level, especially if you're like a solo agent. But if you're coaching a team of producers, like, and you really want to get the most out of your entire team, then I think you have to shoot way further than putting a specific number.
Would you call that different than a stretch goal? Would you say a stretch goal is maybe a little bit of, or would we call that, because I know you're big on setting stretch goals. Like, here's maybe the goal, but then like, here's the stretch goal though of really where I'm trying to be.
No, because if you're going to call it a stretch goal, then it needs to be internal. You can't make that. You can't make that. You can't make your team aware that it's a stretch goal, because then they're going to say, we don't have to hit that number. That's not the real number. You know what I mean? Point. And so that team mentality, you have to be very specific about how you verbalize your goals to the team. Like, no, this is the goal, right? And that might be the stretch goal internally between you and like, your higher ups, but with the actual producing staff, now that needs to be their actual goal, and they'll push to get it. But you have to hold them accountable to it.
I like that. The next point, I'm not even going to, it's break down into smaller actionable steps. It's like, yep, exactly. It's like, break it down, work backwards, right? Like, and apply, like, what are the actionable steps you need to do in order to hit that? Set both short-term and long-term goals. I think that's important. We're not going to spend too much time there where, hey, here's my short-term destinations for the week. Here's what I'm trying to do for this week. But then we also have, the quarterly, the, 6-month, annual, whatever, however many goals you're setting there as far as long-term goes. Set goals that align with your overall business strategy. Your goals should be in line with your overall business strategy and vision. This ensures that you're working towards the bigger picture, not just focusing on the short-term gains, which is, I think, easy to do. And honestly, in this industry, the short term, you can make money pretty freaking quick in this, right? But ultimately, again, is it in line with the vision and what you're trying to do? Victor's talking about, running a team and everything. Is your team in alignment with your vision and what you're trying to build and what those goals are, right? They can have their individual, to Victor's point, they can have their individual goals within, but do all of those individual goals also align with the vision of the business and where they're trying to go as well? Review and adjust regularly. I like that one. We all know what that one is. Goals are not set in stone is what it says. They aren't, right? And I think it is important to go back. And I guess that's more accountability. I don't know if you necessarily need to Well, I guess I don't know. What are your thoughts on this, Merwin? And Victor, I'd like for you to chime in too before you got to bounce, or maybe Victor, you go ahead and kick us off because I know you got to bounce in like 3 minutes. When going to adjust a goal, right? Like, so, hey, I've been writing down my short-term destinations for the past 3 weeks. I've only been hitting 50% of them. Should I adjust those goals, right? Or is there something, or should I just review them and stick with them and figure out like what's the line you draw where like, I don't want to sell, like for my guy, like, hey, they haven't been writing 100K, so then they drop it to 80K to be able to hit a goal. But at the same time, it's like, well, you shouldn't adjust the goal, but maybe sometimes you should adjust them. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm not a proponent of adjusting goals unless you're raising it. And because what you're doing is you're lowering the standard, right? And you don't ever want to lower the standards for anyone. So if someone has a goal and you've taken all the steps necessary to kind of figure out the math of how to get them there, if they're doing the math the right way, right? You say based on these percentages of closing and activity, you should get X amount of items. If they're hitting those numbers and not hitting those items, then that is telling you as a manager, hey, there's something that we need to work on with you. Maybe they need help closing, right? Maybe they need work on their talk paths. Maybe they need help managing their pipeline, right? There's something in there that needs to be corrected, and you have to go in there and fix it, or you have to rewind the numbers and individualize it to that person and say, okay, well, if we're doing 100 items, 10 quotes, 2 items, and you're not getting those quotes to get the items, then we have to look at your numbers. And if it takes you specifically 150 calls to get 10 quotes and 2 items, then your activity number has to go up, and we'll rearrange the activity that leads to the items, but we're not going to change the end goal, which is either a commission, goal, or a premium goal, or an items goal, whatever the case may be. But you adjust the activity to work with it, and then you work with them on building all the systems around it that help them get to that, so that they're more efficient with managing their pipeline, calling their leads, things like that. I mean, you can go even deeper into it and start looking at sources of leads, where they do well at, where they close best, where they, do bad at, and adjusting from there. Because if you have someone who, on the PNC side, if you have someone who's like incredible at closing deals from LOs, right? And you have someone and that same person sucks at working internet leads, you're probably better off just teaching them how to get more LOs and working that, because they're really good at it, as opposed to working internet leads and wasting money, right? Because you're wasting their time, you're wasting the agency's money, right? Vice versa, you have some people who suck at working LOs, and you have some people who are incredible at internet leads. So just put more money into that if it's profitable, right? But it all comes down to just like really paying attention to what is leading to the end goal, where they're doing well, where they're not, and then making adjustments from there. But you don't change the goal.
Yep.
Agreed. Don't adjust the goal, adjust your behavior.
Yep.
I mean, unless your goal is just dumb realistic, like not realistic. I mean, like, I'm going to be an astronaut tomorrow. Obviously, that's not going to work, right? So, I mean, if you
could sneak into like a SpaceX ship at night.
But, as long as that goal is actually realistic, don't adjust the goal, adjust your behaviors. Victor nailed it spot on. There's something you're doing incorrect within your behavior that's preventing you from meeting that goal.
Yep.
Period.
Absolutely. Victor, I know you got to go, bro.
Guys.
Yep. Appreciate you, man. Take it easy. Yep.
See you guys.
Later.
And that's the hard part. Like, most people don't have the stones to go back and look at their lack of behavior to execute on that goal.
Right.
And then adjust accordingly. Right. They're going to do the others. Like, well, I suck at hitting this goal, so let's just reduce the goal. Like, no. Why are you not hitting the goal? And let's go adjust that.
Right.
But it's hard for people to review themselves in that level and be 100% brutally honest with themselves about why they're not hitting their goals.
Yes. Yep. And I think, again, that goes back to, well, it's why we're sitting here doing this now, y'all. It is important. It's so funny. People are like, oh, goals, everybody's write them down, blah, blah, blah. Like, there's a reason we all talk about it. Right. And I think, again, one of the most important things is to go back and review, are you actually hitting your goals? I can't tell you how many people I talk, what are your goals? And it's like, what was the first one? It's like, to increase sales. No shit, dude. But like, what's your actual goals? And they can't even tell me what the actual goal is. Right. So we're going to move into kind of the tail end of the show here, guys. And just really, again, the importance of setting the goals. We kind of went through that and the power of what that can do for you and your business, and kind of just, again, some of that outline and some of that infrastructure. But then we're going to sit here and actually do our goals live together. Lily, again, it's dropped in the comments. It's pinned to the comments. If anybody would like to hop on and do this with us, we would love to have you on here. Especially if you're tuning in and you're part of the social selling challenge with Cody Askins. If you're watching and you're a part of that, then this is like a great way for you to like get some points and get a shout out from Cody and stuff too.
The social selling challenge?
The social selling challenge. It's kind of hard for me to say. I was going to ask if he could rename it, but he already put it out there. But I'm coaching in there, and it's going to be really cool. It's just showing people really, again, how to use social to sell. Okay. But again, we are going to get into actually setting our goals. So guys, go ahead. We sat here and talked. You got to write them down, right? So I'm sitting here and I'm writing them down. And so again, let's do, Tony, what do you want to do? Let's maybe do a short-term destination with everybody so that, hey, from this Wednesday, right, and maybe you can review them on Monday and you can post them in Syndicate if you want us to keep you accountable. But then this time next Wednesday, right, like where do you want to be? So let's do it. Let's do our weekly short-term destinations that we normally do with the office. So guys, go ahead. Okay, just get your sheet of paper. Okay, and then I'm going to write them down too because I know what mine are. Okay. And again, these are what you are trying to achieve, where you are trying to be in the next week. Okay. I guess we can play
yeah, there you go.
Play a little music.
Put a little music on there.
There you go.
So this is 1 week, Wednesday to Wednesday. What's the activity? What's the production? What's the revenue that you're trying to accomplish as an example, right?
It's already the 20th of freaking November too. All right, let's take another minute, y'all. Go ahead and just write them down. We'll go through one more cycle of the music. Just write them down. Your short-term destinations. Honestly, if you want to write them down in there or post them in the comments too, feel free to do that. Are you saying something, Merwin?
No, I was not.
Now I remember mine. I'm trying to remember what my last one is. I don't want to name them though. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and add one based off of a conversation I had yesterday. All right.
Pretty simple, right? We got 7 days, week to week. It's Wednesday. Where do you want to be next Wednesday? What is specific? What's measurable? What's achievable? What's realistic? And we already know the timeline. We got 1 week. I'll go ahead and lead it off. I've got 2 primary goals that I want to hit. Actually, 3. They're somewhat activity-based. These are mostly production-based for me. But over the next week, I would like to see 30 new applications come through this office, Team Avila, right? Those are new enrollments in the Medicare space, 30 applications. I also, as some of y'all know, I function in a BNI group, right? It's been extremely fruitful, and I have specific goals based on my performance within the BNI group. Because there are rewards that you get based on hitting certain metrics in BNI. And I want to be at the top of that leaderboard. I'm super competitive. So I have 2 primary goals that I'm looking for the next week. One, I'm trying to recruit a new member for our BNI chapter. Some of y'all might have seen my post that I put out there. It's like, hey, Austin health insurance agents, we got 2 openings. And then there's a very good chance I might fill both of those. But within the week, I can probably get 1 because my next person isn't able to visit until a couple more weeks. So I'm looking to close 1 new member to BNI next week, and I want to schedule 3 new one-on-one meetings through my BNI group so that I can network with them more, learn more about what they do. They can learn more about what I do and send me more referrals. So pretty basic. I didn't get hyper deep on them. Couple of basic goals. 1, I'm looking for 30 apps. I know we can do it because I already know that's similar to the pace. We haven't quite cracked it, but we keep getting real close. So I keep pushing my team like, let's go. Let's get 30 apps done in a week. So we're pushing for that one. And then other than that, I want my 3 1-to-1s, and I want to close a new member for BNI.
Love it. Love it. Again, guys, this is a weekly thing, right? Okay. So for this, today's Wednesday. So you guys are doing it for Wednesday, right? And then where do you want to be literally a week from now when you can hop on the show and tell us where you're at? Go ahead again, y'all. If you're writing this down and you're doing this with us, drop your short-term destinations, your short-term targets, your goals in the comments. We would love to be able to share those and review with you.
And I want to
go ahead.
Sorry,
Yep.
I didn't interrupt. I want to go ahead and take this a step further, right? Like these are kind of end result production goals. If we take some of the stuff that Victor was talking about,
yes,
reverse engineering that. Like I already know in my brain what it takes to hit these numbers activity wise, right? But if I wanted to, I can break that down. I know that for my team to hit 30 apps, we're going to have an attachment rate probably right around 20 to 25%, right? Which means we're selling a Medicare app plus like a hospital indemnity or something else. I also know that it's going to take an average of 2.5 to 3 hours of talk time every day to get to that level. And then I know for me to get 3 one-on-ones, it's really just activity of reaching out to my BNI members. Pretty simple. And then other than that, I'm probably going to have to invite 2 or 3 people to that BNI group to find one of them that is ready to join and close.
Love it.
Right. So I can reverse engineer it from there to actually look at now what is the activity and the behaviors that I need to execute on in order to make these 100% realistic.
Right. It's like I'm looking at them. I have multiples. You guys have probably seen. I've been getting more involved on the mortgage. I've been involved within Mortgage Free Life with Matt and Christy Evans and the Soleil Group and everything they're doing. So I have on mine. I'm not going to name some of the people because you'll know some of these last names. But I have a big Mortgage Free Life appointment. To Tony's point, okay, what takes me booking this kind of high net worth individual for this? Hey, if I could, and I know. Okay, well, it's going to take me my pitch. It's going to be if I could show you how to pay off your house in 5 to 7 years and save you over $100,000 of interest and help you create tax-free retirement income, would you have 20 to 30 minutes, right? I've got the intake form that needs to be sent. I've got, if I'm, another one of them is for 2 gentlemen that I had lunch with yesterday. They're trying to get into more advanced sales. So then it's like, okay, I would like to schedule them for a Mortgage Free Life appointment, but on the agent side. So I know that here's the template that needs to be sent out. Here's the NDA that needs to be signed. Here's what you got to, just in order to get on the call, then you schedule it, and then the Calendly and all that stuff, right? So I've got multiple Mortgage Free Life appointments, one on the client side of things, 2 on the client side of things. The one I'll actually name, his name's Kyle, and was able to connect with him actually at T-ball. His kid is actually on the T-ball, Bad Attitudes, and the guy literally, it was so funny. I've been writing it down because I'm like, man, this dude walked up to me at the baseball fields and was like, what's the best kind of life insurance, And I was like, damn, man, like what a shoo-in, dude. I was like, well, I'm really into this whole index universal life and this stuff that we're doing on the Mortgage Free Life side of things, man. I think, and it was like a shoo-in. I still hadn't scheduled the appointment, but I got that one knocked out. So that one on my list, I was able to knock that one off. And then you challenged me on this yesterday. A lot of my goals, I hadn't been very team-oriented recently. So for me, I wanted to add this one, and this is because you challenged me yesterday, which is a good challenge. Sometimes you need to be challenged, and you got to be, again, it's the accountability piece. It's why we do what we do here in the office. I want 20 referrals for the team. I'm feeling good. I can feel the uptick. I'm high. I'm energetic. And then it's like, let's freaking go, man. So again, 20 referrals for the team is also something that I'm adding. So I got until Monday in order to knock that off my list. Sell 2 franchises. Okay, so I'm obviously playing in a different space there. So I want to sell 2 franchises. And then I also want to have, I want to hit 25,000 revenue in November, but my stretch goal is 35,000. So I've had a really strong November, but I would like to, we kind of did November and December at the last time we did our goal setting in the office. But those are kind of my numbers, man. I'm trying to get 25,000 revenue per month for the last 2 months of the year. That just puts me in a really good spot to kickstart in 2025. So those are my short-term targets there, guys. Again, drop those in the comments, and we would love to be able to circle back to them. If you don't want to, that's fine. But as long as you're writing them down for yourself, that is what matters, okay? So just a few things here, guys, before we wrap up. I think actually, let's do this. Let's go ahead and set. Do we want to spend some time to set December? You want to do December right now?
I don't care. Fine with me.
Let's do December right now, y'all. So let's go get, if you got your sheet of paper out, okay, let's go ahead and set December here. So now we're not talking a weekly goal. We're talking your monthly goal. Okay. So how do you want to end the year? Okay. How do you want to end the year? We're going to turn our music on. How do you want to end the year? Oh, man, I got a lot of things I'm trying to do to end the year, man. Gosh. Well, I know that one. Make sure you guys are writing them down. Have some revenue. If you guys are struggling, have some revenue goals in there. You can have some activity goals. You can have some team goals in there. You can have even, hey, here's where I'm at for the year. Go back to what was your annual goal. So then you can back into what do you need to do in the next 42 days in order to hit that annual goal. Okay. All right. That's good for December right there for me. It's funny when I write these down, you guys, I don't know. It's like you kind of write them down. You're like, wow, that doesn't seem like a lot. And then you start really breaking them down. You're like, oh, shit.
I got some work to do.
I got some work to do. Hey, guys, if you're following along with us and you're doing this, go ahead and drop them in the comments. I'd love to see some of those. Like, what are you really trying to achieve, again, in the next week and then ultimately next month? This is important. I know it's not our traditional type of show, but I think it's really important for us to spend some time on this as we get ready to wrap up the new year. Okay. So if you've got any short-term destinations, if you're following along with us and tuning in, I see we've got quite a few live people still on the show. Drop those in the comments, man. We would love to go through those with you and help push you to be able to achieve those. Merwin's going to be busy next month, guys. I guess, well, you still have all of next month for APs, right? Is AP till the end of the year, or is that the end?
Ends on the 7th of December.
On the 7th
so
of
we
December.
are closing in. I think we got
okay.
like 17 or 18 days left. We almost done.
You want a little bit more time?
No, I'm good. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I can listen to this music all freaking day.
No.
So for December, I am trying. So if I hit my 35 for this month, even if I hit my 25 in revenue for November, so my revenue goal is I would like to make an additional 30,000 in revenue in December. Okay. I would like 3 franchises. So that would put 5 total by the end of the year, right? So I'm trying to sell 2 by the end of November, but I want 3 more. So I would have 5 total franchises. Again, I'm not going to talk about what that is, but ultimately it's like I know what I'm going to make on a franchise if I sell the franchise. So I'm trying to hit 5 total by the end of the year. I need 3 more outside of the 2 from this month. For my team, again, because Tony checked me on this one, I would like to be at 1.6 million in new business written premium for my internal agency. We definitely got it in the pipeline. We're about 1.3 million, give or take. And we've got like 700 something in the pipeline. So we've got some really big deals in the pipeline that would totally get us to that 1.6 million in new business. And that's pretty much, I mean, with Todd and Amar for the most part. Dylan's newer with us and he's writing business, definitely contributing to that now. And 2025 is going to be a big year for him. But I would like to end the year at 1.6 million in new business written premium for my internal agency. I'm not talking about Clearview as a whole. And then I would like to kickstart with our new chief marketing officer. So we have a new CMO that is joining Clearview. I'm not going to name him yet, but you guys definitely know him. And we're really excited to have him on the team. I think that's going to be a huge kind of goal of mine in December is to really incorporate them into the organization, start kickstarting, like get things ready to rock for all of our Clearview agents and everything that we're doing. He's going to be a huge freaking addition to our team. So that's a big goal of mine in December is to make sure that we, really, again, onboard, incorporate, and launch with our new CMO. I think he's going to do a lot of cool things for Clearview. So those are mine for December. What you got, Mr. Merwin?
Quite a few to close out through the end of the year. And I'm looking at it technically from today to the end of the year, just to be completely honest. I want to get us to push the internal production, 350% growth over last year's AEP.
Okay. Where you at now?
We're running at 300% steady right now.
Love it.
The reason that's important is because if we can hit that goal, then I get to pay out everybody our top bonus at $1,000 a pop. And that's every team member in the group. They all get an extra G note if we can hit that number. I'd like to see the brokerage side grow by 250%. It's already at 200%, so I'm trying to push it another 50.
Basically 50-50.
I've got a couple new agents that have been straggling for AEP, but now they're in there. Now they're selling. So I'm hoping I can get them pushing a little longer. And that has to close out by December 7th. So I got basically 17, 18 days to get that done. But between there and the end of the year, I want to double our lead funnel for people that are turning 65. We have several different lead funnels. One of my primary ones is always hunting for people that are brand new to Medicare. They're turning 65. I want to double the production in that funnel. And I'm not sold that just more money is going to get it done. Like just doubling the budget on Facebook is not just going to all of a sudden double leads. So I got to be a little creative in there and see how I can get that taken care of. And then from December 7th through the end of the year, because it'll just be me and my 2 new guys. Grace will be in Colombia enjoying her 3-week vacation after crushing it for AEP. My goal is to help them get 20 new T65 clients on the books. Brand new T65s.
Love it.
So, and then the only other thing I have from an administrative standpoint before I close out the year, I want to make sure that I already have, and I've got most of it ready to go, but I need to complete my first quarter budget for next year.
Yeah, gosh, freaking. And that, isn't that crazy? It's like when you start breaking down like all the crap that you got to do in the next, again, 42 days, y'all, until 2025 is upon us. And then it's like, crap. Like, again, you got like, we're already needing to start prepping everything for 2025. So while it's important for us to finish out the year strong,
I almost forgot.
Oh, what?
I got to buy more toilet paper. We're almost out.
That's for one of his short-term destinations. So by Monday, hopefully Tony's checked that one off. But no, guys, again, it's important, right? We want the short term, right? And again, I would consider a month, 42 days, pretty much a short-term goal, right? But if we're not already prepping for 2025, we are behind. And I always say this, and again, especially for anybody in property and casualty, okay, I'm speaking specifically to you, maybe a life agent, definitely not anybody that's in health or Medicare, because this is not, it doesn't matter the holidays. This is busy time of the year for y'all. With the holidays coming up, there's such this stigma of like, oh man, sales everything slows down and it just, right. And I think people just kind of cruise through the end of the year. I'm literally, I can show you numbers on this. True testament here that every freaking November, December, really December though, we always break records in December from the previous December. Yeah. So it's while everybody else is slowing down. I think you were actually the one that said it's not Victor earlier. It was Victor, because business owners aren't even picking up their phone. You just got to increase your activity. Yes, it may be a little bit slower. But guess, dude, they're not at work, right? They just spent all this money on freaking Christmas presents or whatever. Like, go in there and save them some money on their freaking car insurance. And everybody that's cruising through the end of the year, if I just increase my activity, then I'm gonna come and eat your freaking breakfast, lunch, and dinner, y'all. So it's not the slow time of the year, right? Kill the rest of this freaking year, because and I always say it, how you end the year, right? And how you finish out 2024 is how you are going to start in 2025. So make sure that you're ahead of the game. Make sure that you're prepped. Make sure that you have your goals and your vision and everybody in alignment, especially if you have a team, right? Do you have your year-end review scheduled? Are you going through that to see where they're at? Are they going to hit their annual goal? I need to actually do that this week with my team. And then 2025 is upon us, y'all. It's already here. So that is what we have for you today. Hope you guys found some value on that. This is important. What's up, Mr. Ali Salah? How are you, sir? Good to see you, man. Hope you and the family are doing well. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Thank you, Jess Suda. Close at least 3 of 10 current quotes out. All December close dates. Okay, create videos training for the new virtual assistant. I like it. Start a podcast. Ooh. And then goal set for 2025. Okay, I like it. Thank you for commenting, Jess. I appreciate you. Next time, I'm going to make you actually get on the show and say it live. It's good prep if you're starting a podcast, right?
Yes.
So hope you guys found some value in that. Mr. Merwin, go ahead and close us out. Happy winning on Wednesday.
Absolutely, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. We do this show every Wednesday, like clockwork, 9 a.m. Central. We were just talking about this yesterday. I realized I had hit my 100th episode for Tuesday training, and I think we've done close to 135 or so with this one.
That we have on YouTube.
That we have on YouTube, at least. We've probably done a few more. But thanks to you guys for tuning in every week. We really appreciate you. Most important thing, man, it is the peak of the week, and we are building in that momentum to get through the holidays, to get through the end of the year, to hit your short-term targets, your short-term destinations, your goals, your legacy, your lifestyle, your income. So
let's go.
Throttle down. It's the peak of the week. I will see you guys at the end of the week, and then on the flip side next Wednesday, 9 a.m.
Let's get it. Today is your day. Go out and seize it. Thanks, everybody.